السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly the way He deserves to be praised. We ask Allah to exalt the mention and grant peace and send His blessings and salutations upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We will continue with the Tafseer of Soorah Ta-Ha, the Tafseer of the noble Sheikh Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Nasir Sa'id alayhi rahmatullah. تفضل يا شيخ مصعب.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وهل أتاك حديث موسى إذ رأى نارا فقال لأهلهم كثوا إني آنست نارا لعلي آتيكم منها بقبس أو أجد على النار هدى فلما أتاها نودي يا موسى إني أنا ربك فاخلع نعليك إنك بالوادي المقدس طوى وأنا اخترتك فاستمع لما يوحى إنني أنا الله لا إله إلا أنا فاعبدني وأقم الصلاة لذكري إن الساعة آتية أكاد أخفيها لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى.
And has the story of Moses reached you when he saw a fire and said to his family, "Stay here. Indeed, I have perceived a fire. Perhaps I can bring you a torch or find at the fire some guidance." Mussab, you have the wrong window. There we are. When he saw a fire and said to his family, "Stay here. Indeed, I have perceived the fire. Perhaps I can bring you a torch or find at the fire some guidance." And when he came to it, he was called, "O Moses, indeed, I am your Lord. So remove your sandals. Indeed, you are in the sacred valley of Tuwa. And I have chosen you, so listen to what is revealed to you. Indeed, I am Allah. There is no deity except me. So worship me and establish prayer for my remembrance. Indeed, the hour is coming. I almost conceal it so that every soul may be recompensed according to that for which it strives." The Shaykh rahimahullah says, يقول تعالى لنبيه محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم على وجه الاستفهام التقريري والتعظيم لهذه القصة والتفخيم لها. Allah says to the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, in a manner of asking a question but to establish something. So as we mentioned before, it's an interrogative sentence with the intent of confirming and establishing. Did the news of Moses reach you? In other words, pay attention to the story of Moses and what will be shared with you. And as means of magnifying the story and to give it value and importance. هل أتاك حديث موسى في حاله التي هي مبدأ سعادته ومنشأ نبوته? Do you know the story of Moses, meaning in his condition, which was the beginning of his happiness and the establishment of his prophethood? أنه رأى نارا من بعيد, that he saw fire from afar. وكان قد ضل الطريق. This is after he had gotten lost. وأصابه البرد, and he was afflicted with cold. ولم يكن عنده ما يتدفأ به في سفره, and he did not have anything that will keep him warm in his travel. فقال لأهله, so he said to his family, إني آنست أي أبصرت نارا, I have seen a fire. وكان ذلك في جانب الطور الأيمن, that was on the right side of the valley of Tur. لعلي آتيكم منها بقبس تصطلون به, meaning I will bring you a torch through which you could see. أو أجد على النار هدى, أي من يهديني طريق, or maybe I will find someone that will give me direction and guide me accordingly. وكان مطلبه النور الحسي والهداية الحسية. His intent was physical light and physical guidance as well. You know, like he was looking for someone to literally give him directions to get somewhere. فوجد ثم النور المعنوي. But what he found instead over there was the abstract light. نور الوحي الذي تستنير به الأرواح والقلوب. The light of the soul, the light of revelation via which the soul and the hearts find illumination. والهداية الحقيقية, and he found the true guidance. هداية الصراط المستقيم الموصلة إلى جنات النعيم. The guidance of the straight path that will direct you and help you arrive at the gardens of bounty. فحصل له أمر لم يكن في حسابه ولا خطر بباله. So he attained a matter that was something he did not calculate, nor did it even cross his mind. فلما أتاها أي النار التي أنسها من بعيد. So when he came to the fire that he had seen from a distance, وكانت في الحقيقة نورا, in reality it was light. وهي نار تحرق وتشرق, and it was a fire that would actually burn and have you know, what do you call them, things that come out of the fire, you know what I mean, flames. ويدل على ذلك قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم حجابه النور أو النار لو كشفه لأحرقت سبحات وجهه ما انتهى إليه بصره. The evidence for that is the hadith of Prophet ﷺ that he said that the veil between Allah and his creation is light or fire. If he were to remove it, then the magnificence of Allah's face would burn whatever his vision will reach. And as you know, Allah's vision reaches everything, meaning all of us would have been burnt if Allah Azza wa Jal didn't place his barrier between him and us. فَلَمَّا وَصَلَ إِلَيْهَا نُودِيَ مِنْهَا. So when he reached there, he was called from in there. أي ناداه الله, meaning Allah Azza wa Jal called him. كما قال وناديناه من جانب الطور الأيمن وقربناه نجيا. Another surah Allah says, and we called him from the side of the right side of the valley of Tur, and we brought him close and had a conversation with him. إني أنا ربك فاخلع عليك إنك بالوادي المقدس طوى. Indeed, I am your Lord, so take off your sandals, you are in the blessed valley of Tuwa. أخبره أنه ربه. First of all, Allah Azza wa Jal informed him that this is his Lord, he is his Lord. وأمره أن يستعد ويتهيأ لمناجاته ويهتم لذلك. And Allah Azza wa Jal commanded him to prepare himself for that conversation he will have with Allah, and so that he will give it its due importance. ويلقي عليه, and that he should remove his sandals. لأنه بالوادي المقدس المطهر المعظم, because he is in that very sacred, blessed, holy, if we may say, valley. ولو لم يكن من تقديسه إلا أنه اختاره لمناجاته كليبه موسى. Even يعني the bare minimum for us to say that this is a sacred place is the fact that Allah selected that place to be where he will speak to his prophet Musa. لكفى, that would have been sufficient as means or as a reason to make this place significant and sacred. وقد قال كثير من المفسرين, many of the mufassirin or those who do the exegesis of the Quran, they said إن الله أمره أن يلقي عليه لأنهما من جلد حمار فالله أعلم بذلك. Some of the scholars said that Allah Azza wa Jal commanded him to take off his shoes because they were made of donkey skin. And Allah knows best. Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah said concerning this hadith that is ضعيف جدا. This hadith cannot stand, therefore that is not the reason. تمام. وأنا اخترتك أي تخيرتك واصطفيتك من الناس. I have chosen you and selected you from among people. وهذه أكبر نعمة ومنة أنعم الله بها عليه تقتضي من الشكر ما يليق به. And this is the greatest bounty that Allah Azza wa Jal bestowed upon him, necessitating the amount of thankfulness and gratitude that is due to Allah. وَلِهَذَا قَالْ فَاسْتَمِعْ لِمَا يُوحَى. That's why Allah said, pay attention and listen to what will be revealed. أي ألق سمعك للذي أوحى إليك, meaning give your full ear to the one who has revealed unto you. فَإنه حقيق بذلك, because he's deserving of that. لأنه أصل الدين, or that message will be very much worthy, because it is the fundamental of the religion. وَمَبْدَأُهُ وَعِمَادُ الدَّعْوَةِ الْإِسْلَامِيَّةِ, and it's the initiation of it, and it is the pillar of the Islamic propagation and the Islamic da'wah. تمام. ثم بين الذي يوحيه إليه بقوله إنني أنا الله لا إله إلا أنا. So the first thing is that Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned that verily I am your Lord, besides which there is no deity worthy of worship. تمام. أي الله المستحق المستحق الألوهية المتصف بها. So Allah, the one who deserves the divine treatment and who's described with divinity. لأنه الكامل في أسمائه وصفاته, because he is the most perfect in his names and his attributes. المنفرد بأفعاله, the one who's singled out in his actions. الذي لا شريك له ولا مثيل ولا كفو ولا سمي, the one who has no partner, none similar, none comparable, and none equal to him. فاعبدني بجميع أنواع العبادة ظاهرها وباطنها أصولها وفروعها. So worship me with all types of worship, the apparent ones, the internal ones, يعني the external ones in terms of limbs, actions of the limbs, internal ones in terms of feeding Allah, relying upon Allah, أصولها, the fundamentals, وفروعها, and that which branches off that. ثم خص الصلاة بالذكر, then Allah specified salah in mention. وإن كانت داخلة في العبادة, even though وإن كانت داخلة في العبادة, even though it is actually داخلة, even though it is already included in ibadah. But why was it mentioned specifically? لفضلها وشرفها, because of its virtue and its honor. وتضمنها عبودية القلب واللسان والجوارح, because it contains the worship of the heart and the tongue and the limbs. In fact, let me add something to that. Salah actually has all of the 5 pillars of Islam in it. Why is Salah considered to be the Amud al-Din, the pillar of Islam? Because the 5 pillars of Islam, which is the Shahada, and establishing the Salah, and giving the Zakah, and fasting the month of Ramadan, and performing Hajj. One may say, how are these 5 pillars incorporated into the Salah? Pay attention. Number 1, when you pray, obviously in the Salah, you're establishing La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, because those are mentioned in the Salah, in the Tashahhud. You wind up saying them, so you're making the declaration of faith, which is one of the pillars of Islam, in the Salah. Establishing the Salah is the pillar of Islam, second pillar of Islam, establish the Salah. You're obviously establishing Salah, so that's a given, right? So you fulfilled so far 2 pillars of Islam. Type. What about Zakah? Zakah is the concept that you allocate some of your wealth to pay it off in order to purify yourself. And how do you earn money? How do you earn money in order to pay off zakah to purify yourself? With time. And when you're praying, what are you actually able to do during the time that you're establishing the 5 daily prayers? You could be working, right? So you could be working and making money, but you leave off this business, this tijara, and you go to Salah. And so you're sacrificing time, and time brings money, and money is means of purification. So by establishing the Salah, you're actually establishing the same concept, wherein it's equivalent to what would have been money for purification. Now the Salah is being the purifier for your soul, and it's purifying you, because that same value of time which brings money, that time you are spending in establishing the Salah. So now we have 3 pillars from the pillars of Islam in the Salah, right? Now we come to the 4th, fasting. Can you eat or drink during Salah? Absolutely not. Can you have sexual relations during Salah? Absolutely not. So the same way you leave off and you abstain from permissible things during fasting in Ramadan or voluntary fasting, in Salah you're actually abstaining from even more than that. You're abstaining from ordinary speech. You're abstaining from looking around. You're abstaining from eating and drinking and having relations. You're abstaining from so many things during the Salah. So the act of Sawm, which is abstinence and leaving off something for the sake of Allah, is also done in the Salah. So now you have 4 pillars. We're left with 1, which is what? Hajj. Don't you face the Kaaba? Don't you face the Kaaba when you establish the Salah? And so your heart, is in that direction, and your body is in that direction. Just like when you go on Umrah and Hajj, that establishment of the rites of Hajj, which include facing the Qibla. So facing the Qibla is an embodiment or is symbolic to going to Hajj, because it's the Baytullah al-Haram, it's the Kaaba. So in that way, that is also now being established in the Salah. So you can see that the Salah actually incorporates all 5 pillars of Islam. That's why if you don't pray, you don't have any. You've actually lost all 5 pillars. Think about it. Enough said. Enough said. طيب, how did I get here? Allahu Ta'ala a'lam. نعم. أي. وقوله لذكري اللام للتعليل. So lam للتعليل, this is the lam of reason or justification. أي أقم الصلاة لأجل ذكرك إياي. Establish the salah so that you may establish my remembrance. لأن ذكره تعالى أجل المقاصد. Because mentioning Allah, remembering Allah is the most noble of objectives. وبه عبودية القلب. And in that mentioning of Allah and remembrance of Allah is the worship of the heart. وبه سعادته. And in that is the happiness and the contentment of the heart. فالقلب المعطل عن ذكر الله معطل عن كل خير. The heart which is dysfunctional, which does not operate because of no remembrance of Allah, is actually a dysfunctional and malfunctioning heart in every respect in terms of all good. It's just mu'attal, meaning it's broken. It's a broken heart. So the broken heart that doesn't remember Allah is broken regarding every type of good. وَقَدْ خَرِبَ كُلَّ الْخَرَابِ. And it's been corrupted in every type of corruption. فشرع الله للعباد أنواع العبادات التي المقصود منها إقامة ذكره. So Allah Azza wa Jal legislated for his slaves the type of acts of worship with the final intent to be the establishment of his remembrance, وخصوصا الصلاة, and specifically الصلاة. قال تعالى أتل ما أوحي إليك من الكتاب وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر. Recite what has been revealed unto you of the book and establish the salah. Verily the salah will prevent you from abhorrence and evil deeds, and verily the remembrance of Allah is greater. أي ما فيها من ذكر الله أكبر من نهي عن الفحشاء والمنكر. Meaning what it contains of the remembrance of Allah is greater than the element of salah preventing you from falling into sin and abhorrent acts of disobedience. هذا النوع يقال له توحيد الإلهية وتوحيد العبادة. This type of tawheed is known as توحيد الإلهية. You could say uluhiyya, you could say ilahiyya, the oneness of the divinity of Allah Azza wa Jal, and the توحيد العبادة, the oneness of the worship. فالألوهية وصفه تعالى والعبودية وصف عبده. So uluhiyya, the divinity, is the description of Allah, and ubudiyya is the description, and servitude is the description of the slave of Allah. تمام؟ نعم. إن الساعة آتيون أي لا بد من وقوعها. The hour is coming, meaning it is inevitable that it will come to pass. It is inevitable that it will come to pass. تمام. أكاد أخفيها أي عن نفسي كما في بعض القراءات. Some of the recitations say that Allah Azza wa Jalla saying I almost conceal it from myself, as in some of the recitations. كقوله تعالى ويسألونك عن الساعة قل إنما علمها عند الله. They ask you concerning the hour, say verily the knowledge of Allah, the knowledge of the hour is with Allah. وقال وعنده علم الساعة. And with Allah is the knowledge of the hour. فعلمها قد أخفاه عن الخلائق كلهم. The knowledge of the hour Allah has hidden and concealed and kept away from all of his creation. فلا يعلمها ملك مقرب ولا نبي مرسل. No near angel knows about it, and no prophet that has been sent knows about it. والحكمة في إتيان الساعة. What is the wisdom behind the coming of the hour? لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى من الخير والشر. So that each soul can be recompensed with what it had put forth of good or evil. فهي الباب لدار الجزاء. It is the gateway to the abode of retribution and recompense. ليجزي الذين أساءوا بما عملوا ويجزي الذين أحسنوا بالحسنى. As it comes in another ayah, so Allah may recompense those who have done evil with what they had put forth, and He may recompense those who had done ihsan with husna, with excellence. تفضل يا مصعب.
فلا يصدنك عنها من لا يؤمن بها واتبع هواه فتردى.
طيب. So do not let one avert you from it who does not believe. So do not let one avert you from it who does not believe in it and follows his desire, for you then would perish. أي فلا يصدك ويشغلك عن الإيمان بالساعة والجزاء والعمل ذلك من كان كافرا به. The Shaykh rahimahullah said, so do not let anything distract you or keep you busy from believing in the hour and recompense and striving for that from among those who disbelieve in all of it, in all of those things mentioned. غير معتقد لوقوعها, a person who does not believe that the hour will come to pass. يسعى في الشك فيها والتشكيك, and he strives in doubting it and casting doubt among the people. ويجادل فيها بالباطل, and further he argues upon falsehood regarding his stance. ويقيم من الشبه ما يقدر عليه, and he tries to present as many doubts and misconceptions as he's able to. متبعا في ذلك هواه, in all of this though, he's following his desires. ليس قصده الوصول إلى الحق, he does not intend to actually arrive at the truth. وإنما قصاره اتباع هواه, actually his main objective is following his desires. فإياك أن تصغي إلى من هذه حاله أو تقبل شيئا من أقواله وأعماله. So woe to you from listening to someone whose affairs like this, or that you should accept from anything from his statements and his actions. الصادة عن الإيمان بها, the one that prevents the people from believing in it. والسعي لها سعيها, and the one that prevents people from striving for the hour the way it's supposed to be done. And this is where I have a point of contention and maybe a piece of advice to my brothers and sisters. You may accept it, you may reject it. It is a subjective opinion. I'm not saying that it is the only opinion, but I sincerely advise you to avoid quoting disbelievers. Avoid like posting posts wherein you're quoting a disbeliever in the context of showing their intelligence or their wisdom, or making the people want to have some sort of respect for them or appreciation of anything of this sort. And there, for everything that you post from one of these disbelievers, you'll find something from Islam that is far superior to that thing. Some brother, a good brother, mashallah, tabarakallah, he posted a post of Kobe Bryant, where Kobe Bryant said, the biggest mistake that the people have is they don't value time. And I'm reading this, I'm like, dude, like really? You have a hadith from Sallallahu where he said, Ni'matan, there are two bounties, maghbunun fihima kathir min an-nas. Many people are confused and lost, and they're in the state of confusion regarding them. And that is time and health. So you have an explicit hadith from Prophet Sallallahu who by far we don't even compare him to any ordinary human being, not even another Muslim, let alone Kobe Bryant. So I quote Kobe Bryant, who said the biggest mistake, by the way, is that people don't value time or don't appreciate time or something like this. Dude, that is not the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake is that a person died upon kufr. The biggest mistake is a person is not worshiping Allah. The biggest mistake is person being on a path other than the path of the prophets and the messengers. That is the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake is not that you didn't value time. You get what I'm saying? And I put to the brother, like, really? Or I don't know what I commented. He didn't understand me, I guess, and I didn't want to, go back and forth. But like things like this, like really, you don't need those people to validate or impress Muslims. You have plenty of athar from our righteous Sahaba and the righteous Tabi'een. Wallahi, they were wiser and more intelligent and better than anybody else on earth, past, present, and future. So learn how to promote and appreciate the Islamic heritage and the Islamic education and the Islamic intellectuals, as opposed to some nobody or some famous Westerner or some famous whatever you want to call them, who has some valid thing to say, but it will put in the hearts of the people, appreciation to the kufr and its people. So if you want to accept this advice from me, jazakumullah khair. If not, no problemo. نعم. وإنما حذر الله تعالى عمن هذه حاله. Why did Allah warn? The reason why Allah Azza wa Jal exclusively has warned us regarding a person whose condition is like this, لأنه من أخوف ما يكون على المؤمن بوسوسته, because that is the scariest thing, or the most fearful thing upon the believer with such whispers. وتجيله, from Dajjal and Dajjal, and basically falsifying and twisting things around and turning things upside down. وكون النفوس مجبولة على التشبه, and because the people are built and formed to want to resemble others. People like to copy others and you follow leaders. والاقتداء بأبناء الجنس, and you want to follow people from among your type. وفي هذا تنبيه وإشارة إلى التحذير عن كل داع إلى باطل. الله أكبر, الله أكبر. And in this is a warning and an indication about warning against every caller to falsehood. That needs a sip. Allahu Akbar. And in this is a indication and a note for you about warning against every caller to falsehood. يصد عن الإيمان الواجب أو عن كماله. The person who prevents you from having perfect iman, from the required iman, or even the perfection of one's iman. The one who twists things around and gives you a twisted narrative, until you don't know what to believe anymore. أو يوقع الشبهة في القلب, or one who will instill a doubt in your heart. وعن النظر في الكتب المشتمل على ذلك. Rather, it is actually also warning about going through books that contain this kind of content. And remember, in previous clips, I've told you, don't listen to debates and don't read books that contain such content if you're not fortified with Islamic knowledge, if you don't have your foundations, and you might think that you have your foundation set, but you don't. وَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. Do not purify and praise yourself. Allah knows best who really has taqwa. You might think that you have the foundation, but you don't. So you expose yourself to these kind of debates, and then your brain does not stop working. Who has to deal with it? Me among many other du'at that are reachable. Some du'at are not reachable. Some du'at are reachable. Yeah, if I will share with you the amount of WhatsApp messages and Instagram messages and I don't know what messages, wallahi, that were a byproduct of this very same thing. Brother, I was listening to Fulan, and then he said this. Wallahi, now I cannot sleep at night and I cry every day and I'm confused. Brother, Madri Ish happened, and I watched this debate, and the guy said something about the Islam, and now I have a doubt in my heart. Can you please remove it? طب حبيبي ما هو أنا I'm a trash man. Every time someone dumps a trash in your brain, I have to come and pick it up and remove it. طب what if I'm not available? طب what if I don't have an answer? You put your trust in me, mashallah, tabarakallah, and you thought that I am the guy, I'm the guy for the task. And I say, oh, wallahi, ya Sheikh, I don't know. You're going to live with this doubt for the rest of your life? You're going to let that doubt overcome you? That's what I'm saying. There's a beautiful Arabic proverb. Please memorize it, act upon it. As-salamatu la ya'diluha shay'. Safety is not equated with anything. There's nothing in this world like safety. The best thing in the world is safety. Hey, I'm away from all this. I don't got to worry about it. Alhamdulillah, living peacefully within four walls. You expose yourself to trash, and you're going to get some remnants in your braino. And your braino that you cannot clean with Drano. Right? And then, I don't want to rhyme any further, but you get what I'm saying. Trust me, you don't need this stuff. Wallah, you don't need it. Upon you is the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the ulama, ya Allah, the ulama al-Rabbaniyun, how different they are from what we have today in terms of clowning and clowns in the da'wah scene. You listen to Sheikh bin Uthaymeen, you listen to Sheikh bin Baz, you listen to Sheikh Fawzan, you listen to Sheikh Shanqiti, you listen to Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahumullah, Sheikh Al-Badr, and the list goes on, Raheli, and so on and so forth. You will not find them delving into any of the nonsense that we delve into. They teach you straight up, like bam, in your face, khalas. You take pure knowledge, sacred knowledge that will guide you aright. You start listening to some of us funny people on YouTube, and it's spaghetti. You know, there's no lasagna. Lasagna is beautiful. Why do people like lasagna? There's a layer of dough. I don't know what it is. I'm not really an expert in food. You can tell by my size. A layer of beef or ground beef, a layer of cheese, a layer of sauce. It's layered. Spaghetti is like all the noodles are like having a fight. You listen to these du'at, you know, half an hour in Hyde Park, another hour Madri Ish Fulan with an atheist, another 45 minutes with a Christian, another 45 minutes with a Hindu. By the time you're done, you like, what happened? Right? You start thinking about what you heard. And not every Muslim da'i is eloquent enough, or can articulate himself well enough, or can bring the point home, or can explain things correctly. And a lot of them don't know Arabic. So you're already starting on the wrong foot. You're starting off on the wrong foot. No Arabic, meaning there's a disaster in the pipeline. There is a disaster in the pipeline. It will come eventually. No Arabic, meaning, I didn't say no Arabs. Pay attention, huh? No Arabic language, meaning you have a deficiency, a major deficiency in your access to resources. You don't have. You're only, what's accessible to you from the Islamic knowledge is 8%, 10%. I don't know how much has been translated to English. 90%, you have no idea. A person who knows Arabic will go through his, Maktab al-Shamila, even if it's an online, even if it's a digital copy. You go through Maktab al-Shamila, you can go through any book. You read, okay, the Mashayikh said this is hadith sahih, this is da'if, this is munkar, this is mawdu'. You know what's going on. You know the words. The words, you've learned them, you've come across them, you've been exposed to them. A brother who doesn't know Arabic, if he opens the sharh, one of the tasheeh of the Sheikh Al-Albani, one of the tadqiq of the Sheikh to one of the books, he has no idea what the Sheikh is saying. Even a footnote, he will not know. If the footnote is not translated in the tafsir, he will drown, as they say, in a drop of water. You will drown in a drop of water. So I've told you many times, I will repeat and reiterate. Do not, the Sheikh clearly said, it's a warning against every caller to falsehood that will affect your iman or the perfection of your iman, or will cast doubt in your heart. And you shouldn't read those books either. And in our day, you shouldn't watch such videos either. By your safety, by minding your business. Sincere advice from my heart to yours, inshallah. وذكر في هذا الإيمان به وعبادته والإيمان باليوم الآخر. And Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in this the faith, belief in Him, and His worship, and the belief in the last day. لأن هذه الأمور الثلاثة أصول الإيمان وركن الدين. Because those three matters are the fundamentals of faith and the pillar of the religion. To believe in Allah, to worship Him, to believe in the last day. وإذا تمت تم أمر الدين. If they are fulfilled, then the matter of the religion will be fulfilled. وَنَقْصُهُ أَوْ فِقْدُهُ بِنَقْصِهَا أَوْ نَقْصِ شَيْءٍ مِنْهَا. And the deficiency of the religion, or its absence altogether, is proportional to the deficiency in those three pillars or the absence of them. وهذا نظير قوله تعالى في الإخبار عن ميزان سعادة الفرق. And this is equal to the statement of Allah Azza wa Jalla when He told us about the scale of happiness in regards to the denominations. الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ وَشَقَوَتِهِمْ. Those who be given the book, and then those who are wretched among them. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا وَالصَّابِئِينَ وَالنَّصَارَى مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Verily those who believe, and those who were among the Jews and the Sabi'in and the Christians, whoever believes on Allah and the last day and did righteousness, there's no fear upon them, nor should they grieve. This is in regards to who? This is in regards to two groups of people. Those who believed in their respective messenger when he was alive. Those who believe, for example, the followers of Jesus, the followers of Moses, who believed in La ilaha illallah, and that Musa was Rasulullah, Isa was Rasulullah, Lut was Rasulullah, Ibrahim was Rasulullah. Those people are being referred to here. And those among them who, when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was sent, They accepted his da'wah and they embraced Islam. So they were pre-Christians, pre-Jews, but now Muslims. وقوله فتردى أي تهلك وتشقى إن اتبعت طريق من يصد عنها, meaning you will be destroyed and you will be wretched if you follow the path of those who prevent you from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in that belief. 11:07. يلا يا مصعب.
وما تلك بيمينك يا موسى قال هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها وأهش بها على غنمي ولي فيها مآرب أخرى قال ألقها يا موسى فألقاها فإذا هي حية تسعى قال خذها ولا تخف سنعيدها سيرتها الأولى واضمم يدك إلى جناحك تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء آية أخرى لنريك من آياتنا الكبرى.
Okay, Jazakallahu khairan ayyuhal walad. And what is that in your right hand, O Moses? He said, it is my staff, I lean upon it, and I bring down leaves for my sheep, and I have therein other uses. Allah said, throw it down, O Moses. So he threw it down, and thereupon it was a snake moving swiftly. It was a snake moving swiftly. Allah said, seize it and fear not. We will return it to its former condition. And draw your hand in your side, or draw in your hand to your side. It will come out white without disease, another sign, that we may show you some of our great signs. The Shaykh says, rahimahullah, لما بين الله لموسى أصل الإيمان. After Allah Azza wa Jal clarified and showed Musa the fundamental of faith, أراد أن يبين له ويريه من آياته ما يطمئن به قلبه. Allah wanted to show him and clarify to him some of his miracles, some of his signs, so that his heart can find comfort. وتقر به عينه, and that his eye may find tranquility. ويقوى إيمانه بتأييد الله له على عدوه, and his iman will be stronger by seeing Allah's support to him against his enemy. فقال وما تلك بيمينك يا موسى هذا مع علمه تعالى. Allah knows already what's that in his hand. ولكن لزيادة الاهتمام في هذا الموضوع, because there's a special emphasis on the subject matter. أخرج الكلام بطريق الاستفهام, so it was mentioned in the state of a question, in the form of a question, but Allah Azza wa Jal already knows. فقال موسى هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها وأهش بها على غنمي. ذكر فيها هاتين المنفعتين. He mentioned two benefits in his staff. منفعة لجنس الآدمي, one benefit particular to the human being, وهو أنه يعتمد عليها في قيامه ومشيه, the fact that he relies upon it in his walking and his getting up and walking. فيحصل فيها معونة ومنفعة للبهائم. So that will bring about a benefit for him and another benefit for the animals. وهو أنه كان يرعى الغنم, because he used to look after sheep. He was a shepherd. فإذا رعاها في شجر الخبط ونحوه هش بها. So whenever he is around a certain type of tree, he will use it to strike the tree. أي ضرب الشجر ليتساقط ورقه فيرعاها الغنم. So that he will strike the tree so that the leaves will fall and then the sheep will eat it. هذا الخلق الحسن من موسى عليه السلام من آثاره حسن رعاية الحيوان البهيم. This is from the good qualities and traits of Musa عليه السلام. Because of his care for the animal and the bahayim, the beasts. والإحسان إليه دل على عناية من الله له واصطفائه وتخصيص تقتضيه رحمة الله وحكمته. And it shows a specific attention from Allah Azza wa Jal for him and a selection regarding him that was necessitated by Allah's mercy and his wisdom. ولي فيها مآرب أي مقاصد أخرى غير هذين الأمرين. I have other matters and other affairs and other benefits that I have from the staff other than these two. ومن أدب موسى عليه السلام أن الله لما سأله عما في يمينه. From the mannerism, the good manners of Musa is that when Allah asked him about what is that in your right hand, وكان السؤال محتملا عن السؤال عن عينها أو منفعتها أجاب بعينها ومنفعتها. The question could have been about what it is in particular, and or it could have been, what is the benefit behind it? So the question that did not dictate or did not specify whether the question was merely about what is it that is in his hand or what does he do with it. So the adab of Musa, the manners of Musa, is that he answered both, because he didn't know which one it could have been. Out of good manners, he wound up mentioning what it is. قال هي عصاي, it is my staff. أهش بها على غنمي, and then he mentioned all the أتوكل عليها first, I rely upon it and use it to get up. وأهش بها على غنمي ولي فيها مآرب أخرى. So he mentioned what it is and what he benefits from it, and that's from his good manners. فقال الله له ألقها يا موسى فألقاها فإذا هي حية تسعى انقلبت بإذن الله ثعبانا عظيما. Then when he threw it, Allah commanded it to throw it down, and when he threw it, it turned into a great snake. فولى موسى هاربا خائفا ولم يعقب. And Musa became very terrified and scared, and he ran away and he didn't even look back. وفي وصفها بأنها تسعى إزالة لوهم يمكن وجوده وهو أن يظن أنها تخيل لا حقيقة فكونها تسعى يزيل هذا الوهم. The fact that Allah Azza wa Jal said that it is تسعى is in order to remove the concept that it might be only his imagination, or that it is a trick of the eye. Meaning this was not illusion. This was not illusion. This was an indication that it truly became a snake and it was removing. And that was mentioned in order to remove the doubt that it could be merely an eye illusion, a visual illusion. فقال الله لموسى, Allah said to Musa, خذها ولا تخف, seize it and do not fear. أي ليس عليك منها بأس, there's no harm from you from that. You will not be harmed by it. سنعيدها سيرتها الأولى أي هيئتها وصفتها. We'll bring it back to its original condition and state. إذ كانت عصا, when it was a staff. فامتثل موسى أمر الله إيمانا به وتسليما. فامتثل موسى أمر الله إيمانا به وتسليما. Musa fulfilled the command of his Lord out of faith and submission. فأخذها, so he seized it. فعادت عصاه التي كان يعرفها. So it returned back to the state of being the staff that he knew about. هذه آية. This is the first time. ثم ذكر الآية الأخرى. Then Allah mentioned another آية. فقال واضمم يدك إلى جناحك أي أدخل يدك إلى جيبك. Meaning وضم عليك عضدك الذي هو جناح الإنسان. So according to the scholar, put your hand over here basically to your side. Insert your hand into your pocket, into your side. تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء أي بياضا ساطعا من غير لاعب ولا برص. His hand will be extremely white, illuminating white, with no defect or no leopardy. What is the actual word? The leopardom, leprorism. I don't know what the word is. Maybe later we'll figure it out. تمام. المهم, not a skin disease. Basically, it won't be a skin disease. Leprosy, I think it's leprosy. Did anyone write it? No one wrote it. Leprosy. I got it before you. Whoever you are, you Fawaz, I got it. No, Amatullah, I got it before both of you. You guys were too late. Anyways, inshallah, you will win. You will. Now everybody's going to give it to me. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. All of you will win. Absolutely nothing with us, inshallah ta'ala. Congratulations. You can enjoy it on your own or with your friends. طيب, how did I get here? نعم. So this was the second ayah. قال الله فذانك برهانان من ربك إلى فرعون وملئه إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين. Another ayah, Allah said, these are two signs from your Lord to Fir'aun and his people. Verily they were corrupt people. لنريك من آياتنا الكبرى أي فعلنا ما ذكرنا من انقلاب العصا حية تسعى ومن خروج اليد البيضاء للناظرين. So we did the following of making your staff convert into a snake that moves, and the removing or the coming out of your hand as extremely white for the people that are watching and viewing. لأجل أن نريك من آياتنا الكبرى الدالة على صحة رسالتك وحقيقة ما جئت به. To show you of our great signs that indicate the truthfulness of your message and the validity of what you've brought forth. فيطمئن قلبك, so your heart will find ease and tranquility. ويزداد علمك, your knowledge will be increased. وتثق بوعد الله لك بالحفظ والنصرة, and you will trust the promise of Allah to you in terms of preservation and aid and victory. وَلِتَكُونَ حُجَّةً وَبُرْهَانًا لِمَنْ أُرْسِلْتَ إِلَيْهِمْ. And so that you will have a proof and evidence for those whom you will be sent to. And that's beautiful that we ended right here at a perfect time, inshallah ta'ala. Bi-idhnillah, tomorrow we will discuss what happens when he went to Fir'aun. Or before that, we will discuss some of the things that happened with Fir'aun and the conversation that happened between Allah and Musa in regards to his involvement of his brother Harun. But we will leave that till tomorrow, inshallah. Now we will see what y'all got in terms of questions. Guys, why are you being mean to each other? What's going on with this shut up stuff? Rude Ustad? Okay, Jazakallah khair, Mr. Sun. No problem. I'll accept that from you. I'll accept that from you. No problem. It's okay whether he's joking or he's serious. I don't care. Ustad, is it fair to say that Osama bin Laden fought for jihad by doing what he did? How can we be sure that that wasn't his mindset? And can we say that he died as a Sunni Muslim? I cannot speak about how he died and what he died upon. What we know that he was a terrorist. And that is not jihad. Jihad is not that you target innocent civilians of countries that are in opposition with Islam and then you kill those innocent people. That has never been Islam. That will never be Islam. We have ample evidences from the Quran and the Sunnah about the value of human life. Human life. وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. Whosoever allows the soul to live, it's as though he has allowed the entirety of the world to live. And whoever allows it to die, it's as though he killed the entire of humanity. So the way he operated was a deviant type of operation. I'm not speaking about his past. Maybe in the past he was okay. Once he shifted into speaking ill about the rulers and doing takfir of the people in charge and moving to that point, then we have an issue. This is the same issue that, the people are very loose about speaking about the rulers and allowing these acts. You have to be very careful. That's why even among the people that we've praised in the past, and I'm in contact with him, Brother Daniel, inshallah, we're going to have a conversation soon about this. I have an issue with a person going out and speaking about the people in charge in a manner of belittlement, because it is not from the way of the Sunnah. It's not from the way of the Prophet ﷺ. It's not from the way of the righteous predecessors. 100%. There's an ijma' on this. But we will deal with that later. Anyways, Osama bin Laden was on some other tip. He was on a terrorist tip. He was on a military tip. And that affected and killed innocent Muslims and innocent non-Muslims. And all this is haram in Islam. As for after where he died, it's between him and Allah. Nobody has a say in this. Now, next. And why are you worried about him? Yani, Wallahi al-Azim, in Ramadan, and we have a million, each one of us has to fix himself. We're going to worry about someone who already done what he's done and he met Allah Azza wa Jal. Khalas. Is Israr Ahmad reliable? If not, why? I don't remember. I know that there were issues with him, but because I don't remember specifically what it is right now, I will hold back. You should ask an Urdu speaker about this who will be able to benefit you more, because I remember that he was operating in Urdu. Now. Next. Is it okay to watch series like Ertugrul to learn about the history of Muslim rulers? Look, I fell for the trap of Ertugrul, to be honest with you. And in all frankness, when I approach those things, I have a different paradigm in mind. And I'm not trying to give myself a unique fatwa, but I want you to understand. Because I'm involved in da'wah, I need to have awareness of certain things that are on the scene so that I'm able to advise and help myself and others in regards to them. So to be frank, first of all, I've watched Ertugrul, and the bottom line is, while, if we want to put it in a scale, while there were some benefit in terms of reviving this kind of appreciation for Islam and the Islamic history, now this is the good. Okay, put this on one side of the scale. Let's go to the other side of the scale. First of all, there's unavoidable music. There's unavoidable women that you cannot lower your gaze. And if you lower your gaze the whole time you're watching the show, then you're not going to be able to watch anything, right? Because these women are, and it's not like they selected the ugliest woman in the world. They have a pretty fine selection, let's just say. Even some of them are scary. Nevertheless, still, it's a challenge for any man to watch. Then, and most importantly, there's a lot of bluff. There is a lot of bluff and exaggeration to make it palatable or relatable to the people, along with the greatest calamity in the magnification of Sufism and mysticism, and the sheikh who knows what's going on, and he comes to him in his dream and he talks to him and he saves him, and madri ايش. يعني the idea of shirk related issues is overwhelming and it's unavoidable. Besides the fact that there are a lot of political objectives behind this show, because there's like this big political war between a few regions in the world. So you have to understand it is made with the intention to also mess with you a little bit and kind of give you it's a brainwashing show. Definitely has a lot of good, but by far the harm and the haram is far greater, and the average Muslim cannot differentiate between all of these things. So you wind up actually picking up, besides the fact that the amount of people that they killed in the show, ya Sheikh, in every episode a good 300 people die. Yani in one episode they have 4 or 5 battles and the people are dying like flies. Look, in the entire Islamic ummah, not that many people have been killed. What are you talking about, man? These guys were killing people like you drink water. It's like, oh, just what? I mean, it's the exaggeration is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So what's the bottom line? Stay away from Arturo. Hey. Next. I've heard a city point, which was that when Allah Azza wa Jal first talked to Musa, there are different sayings in the Quran and other verses. For me, it's not a problem, but don't know the true answer. Yeah, the way we look at the Quran is when we hear a story, we combine all of the stories together to come up with one narrative. Oh, Zabua Mabua. أنت زبوة مبوة والله ددي ها ددي Next. Should we listen to Speaker's Corner to have arguments while giving da'wah? No, I told you should not listen to Speaker's Corners. You should not listen. A lot of the brothers there are not qualified. A lot of the brothers get silenced by disbelievers. And again, it's just it's a toxic environment of going back and forth. It's tough. Only if you're a qualified student of knowledge and you think you could use some of these arguments to give da'wah on your own, that's fine. For the average Muslim, leave that whole scene alone. It is very toxic for your heart. You're getting exposed to a lot of garbage, basically. Next. What do you think of Sheikh Sha'rawi? Sheikh Sha'rawi was a deviant. He was a deviant sheikh who was not upon the aqeedah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, who was pro grave, the building of the graves in the masajid, and he even uses the ayah in Soorah Al-Kahf to support the validity of building. He uses this as an evidence that it's okay to build a shrine over a grave in the masjid, among many other things. I mean, definitely he was very well spoken. He was very charismatic. He had a lot of good information, a lot of good interpretations. But again, it was not upon the way of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And for the regular layman who's not a student of knowledge, you will get all types of mixed up information and you will not know what to believe at the end of the day. I've read a lot of his fatwa. There was a book I had that has the fatwa of his. At the end, I was puzzled and baffled by some of the things he said. I've heard and watched many of his videos. While there are things to appreciate, just like Sheikh Abdul Hamid Kishk, there are a lot of things that you need to be concerned about. Naam, Allah musta'an. Ghafar Allahu lana wa lah. Next. Vitiligo is also a skin disease. طيب. Nice hat, by the way, Ustad. Thanks. More like Mufti Ibn Munir. What do you think about his da'wah? Okay, well, I don't know about Mufti Ibn Munir. I've had this for Allahu A'lam, I would say 15, 16 years, maybe longer than that. I've had this for a long time before Mufti Ibn Munir even came to the scene and was ever put on YouTube. So that's my stilo from way back in the day, just so that I don't like to copy anyone, by the way. I definitely don't like to copy people. I have my own thing. and I appreciate everybody else, but I don't appreciate people to the point that I want to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? I roll on my own. How many people you see wearing red glasses? Think about that. And it's not pink, it's red. Look, I've heard him. I, for the most part, find him to be sound. But I've come across some opinions of his in some videos that were problematic. That was just problematic. His first of all, his endorsement of protesting and other things of this nature. One video about marijuana and the cannabis and whatever, that was a little trouble. Yeah. Anyways, I cannot say yay or nay. I've heard very beneficial things from him, and I've seen some problematic things from him. And until I ever get the chance to have a discussion with him or something where I know, where this brother stands, I can't really pass a judgment. Naam. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Why do you do Tafseer al-Sa'di and not a classical Tafseer such as Tafseer al-Tabari? Barakallah fiqh. Because, bro, look at the number of views. Tamam? This Tafseer al-Sa'di is a very simple, straightforward Tafseer. Tamam? In spite of that, this video and the videos of Tafseer versus the clips that we make, there's like a humongous gap in terms of people actually having the patience to listen and remain attentive. If you go through Tabari, yeah, Sheikh, we will spend literally 3 days on 1 or 2 ayat, because you're going to go through all the haddathana, and all the hadith with the chain of narrators and all the opinions that are put out there. Then he's going to mention his favorite, what he favors, what is preponderant to him. It is not. It's not. Plus, it's a level above me. Let's just put it this way. It's also above me and above my audience. So we'll stick to our level. Man rahimallahu imri'an arifa qadra nafsihi. May Allah bless you, and a person who knows his self limitations. This is what we can do. If you could do better, light rider, light it up on your way out when you're riding. Barakallah fiqh, and you do a tabari. وطبرنا معك. Can we take knowledge from Imran bin Mansour, Da'wah man? Inshallah, yes. Yes, you can. Couple of mishaps here and there, but that's everybody. Not a question, but an advice, okay? Are you aware that live videos is halal? Absolutely. Like, it's not out of necessity for da'wah. Make the intention by it, jazakallah khair. What? أقسم بالله العظيم. Do I sit in tawarruk, in tarawih and witr? No. Because you don't get to pray 4 rak'at. Anyways, as far as I know, you don't. Even if it's 3 rak'at. Can a woman and man get married but not live in the same house temporarily? Of course. Of course they can get married and not live in the same house. They don't even have to live in the same city or the same country. They can get married long distance if needed. It comes with its own issues, needless to say. But yes, it's not a condition that they live together. Now, Akhi, what do you think about Da'wah Man or Abu Taymiyyah in the UK? I've already answered. As far as I know, both are okay, inshallah. From what I have seen. Again, no one out there is perfect. So there's always points of contention with other du'at. But as long as the framework of their da'wah is upon the way of the righteous predecessors, then it's all good. We will disagree on certain aspects of the religion. That's normal and acceptable. Tamam? But overall, in terms of the grand scheme of things, inshallah, these brothers are upon the way of the Salaf as far as I know. Do we say dua of iftah in prayer while praying in congregation? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Dua al-iftitah, not iftah. Is Tafseer al-Sa'di available in English to download? Yes, it is. It is available. You can find it online. But it defeats the purpose, in my opinion. I don't know. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving you the Arabic and the English rendering of the Arabic, so you could just take notes. If you want to download the English version, then you also don't need the class, in my opinion, because you could read it on your own and khalas, case closed. Be careful of that. Just be careful of the shaitan distracting you from being able to attend and benefit, because you think that you will read and then you wind up not reading. If you wind up reading, alhamdulillah, you don't need me. Throw me in the ocean and learn on your own, no problem. But yeah, my concern is that people say that, download, then they never open it, or they open it once a week, and then nothing happens. At least here, you feel some sort of commitment. Y'all still fighting on the group? Yeah, ban. Anybody who's going to come here and act like a Mickey Mouse or a clown, just ban him. We're not here to, it's not a playground, guys. If you want to be funny, go be funny elsewhere. You know where you will have a great time? With Mufti Abu Layth. If you want someone to be at the same level of retardedness and clownliness as you want to be, go with Mufti Abu Layth. It's a perfect environment for everybody just to have a great time where knowledge is the last thing on your radar. Right? Knowledge is not even there. It's just pure entertainment and laughing the whole time. That's go to Mufti Abu Layth and learn with him. Here, we have to maintain, okay, I crack a couple of jokes, put a smile on your face. Alhamdulillah, it's a blessing from Allah. But we're not going to turn it into an entertainment session. So please act accordingly. Allah bless you. Thank you so much. Is it okay to acknowledge and listen to Shamsi? Again, Shamsi is, to me, is just like Mufti bin Munir and the other brothers. Generally, I've seen a lot of good stuff, and I've had some points of contention with him. I don't know whether he's part of SPUBS or not, really. To what extent is he a representative of SPUBS? But SPUBS and Salafi publications, until they repent to Allah from their aggression and transgression against other du'at to Salafiyya, if they didn't, unless they change and repent, then we continue to have an issue with them. If he's associated with them, it is definitely a problematic, because you're going to restrict the da'wah to their line of mashayikh and their line of people, and they go and shut down everything else. So if you listen to him, then technically if you ask him about me and he will not consider me from among his SPUB sphere, then he's going to tell you cannot listen to me, for example. Am I teaching you anything against the Sunnah? You're going to say, La wallah. Did I teach you Aqidah of Asha'ira or Mu'tazila? La wallah. Is this Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah? Yes. Is this a methodology of the Salaf? Yes. So what's the problem? The problem is that he's not with SPUBS. You get what I'm saying? So you know, I don't know really. I don't know where he stands. Oh, Fallah musta'an. Yeah, Fawaz, have mercy on your soul, ya Shaykh. Allah yarham Abook. I have doubts about the da'wah of Shaykh Muhammad Wahab since the scholars of his time called him a deviant kharij. Could you help me? I can help you by telling you to watch my video with Jalal Abu Rabb. Go on my channel, and in recent videos, there's a session we had about Wahhabiyya and Muhammad Abdul Wahab in specific, with his historical background on him. And I have a lecture that I delivered 10 years ago called The Horn of Satan or Wahhabism. Please listen to these two. Inshallah, you will be helped accordingly. One question about the kind of prayer Musa did. As we know, the Prophet ﷺ was gifted the salawat later on. What about the kind of prayer Musa did? They all prayed the same way. They all prayed the exact way of praying, Allahu A'lam. But as far as we know, there was sujood involved, because we have evidences from this, kharra raki'an wa anab, and other statements of this effect that mention there's ruku' and sujood. The exact thing that we say in the salah now, obviously this is to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. But what kind? It's the same type of salah. More details than that we don't know, and we don't need to know. It is not from the knowledge that is beneficial for you. What is a method in teaching a baby Arabic when the parent's native tongue is English? By you learning Arabic first and helping him out, or by buying maybe audiobooks, some sort of some online course, something where another person is doing the work of speaking in Arabic and the child's ear getting accustomed and used to hearing Arabic, so they're able to pronounce it accordingly. Ya Mahmoud, Ya Habibi, Wallah, Ana Miskeen. I sit here. One day, when a question pops in front of me on the screen, Ya Sheikh, I answer it. I'm not being selecting or missing you or Madri Ish. I go with the flow. Maybe your question came before other people, so we go, first come, first served. Can you imagine walking into a restaurant and then, you come last and then you want to be the first one to eat? It's not fair. And now somebody's saying that I already answered the question. Tfaddal. Any advice, tips on dealing with kids who fight all the time as if they are the worst enemies? Come see my kids. Come see Mussab and Mu'adh. Uqsum billah, as if we adopted each one of them from a different blood group. A plus, B plus, or A plus, A negative. I don't know how things usually are like this, but these kids are exactly the same. It's the genes, it's obviously the qadr of Allah Azza wa Jal that their genes are like this. So actually, do you have any tips or advice on how to deal with kids who fight all the time? We just try to, I try to be they say there's a Lebanese expression that says, Adi ulad shana halu. The judge, the one who is a judge among children, he hung himself. Because when you want to judge between kids, it's always like, wallah, he did this. The other one's like, wallah, you did this. Wallah, you did this. Wallah. Then you stand in the middle, say, what the heck's going on here? Everybody's saying, wallah, everybody's sah, and everybody's wrong. And you start doubting your own self. You open the door, go walk in the street, speak to neighbors, speak to cats in the street. You lose your mind with these kids. So, you just have to be patient. Bottom line is, some kids are meant to be wing, wow, wow. You just have to be patient with them and hope that when they grow up, inshallah, they won't be as silly. I don't know. Maybe English literature in schools, there are chapters which use a lot of personification. The cloud gives, Mother Nature gives us, which could brainwash kids' mind. How to deal with this? By instilling tawheed in them. And that's why you got to be careful what kind of education you get exposed to, specifically secular education, wherein it is a problem. It's a problem. So as long as you've given them the right foundation and you're involved in their learning, you could come and say, hey, Mother Nature has nothing to, there's no such thing as Mother Nature. Ish Mother Nature aslan. Nature has a mother or father. Tab, where's Father Nature? Where's baby nature? Oh Allah, only mother on her own. كله كلام فاضي يا شيخ. كله كلام فاضي. خلي والي صديقه هذا ما في طريقه. بعده. Can I take knowledge from Shabir Ali? Heck no. Shabir Ali, we are in a position where we actually doubt his Islam. I'm not going to do takfir on him. But some of the things he said are borderline, and they're not. They are actually kufr. The only thing left is that he is so confused, so ignorant, so lost that he doesn't know any better. This guy straight up rejects the belief in qadar. He rejects a hadith in Bukhari. He rejects things that are not open for rejection. The hudud, he says, nah, not really, doesn't apply. He doesn't believe it should apply. He has certain beliefs that are heretical in nature and in reality. So the last person on this planet that you will learn from is Shabir Ali. He is completely out of the scope of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Yani he's flock of his own, the solo bird flying on his own. Allah musta'an, Allah yahdih. Yalla ya Jama'ah, I want to eat. There's a hadith that says that there will always be a group of people on the right aqidah until Qiyamah. How come 200 years before Ibn Taymiyyah there was no scholar who understood aqidah like him? Who told you, Ya Maulana Sheikh decubing brothers, that 200 years before Ibn Taymiyyah there was no one? Were you there with them? Like you were living during that era and then you were walking in the streets and making phone calls. Hey, yo, where are the mashayikh upon the right aqidah? Oh, no, nobody. There's nobody here. Okay, inshallah, Ibn Taymiyyah will come in 200 years. He will fix it up. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Stop it. Next. How can one have ikhlas and truly be sincere with Allah? By knowing that if you do it for other than Allah, then you're going to get nothing. If you do it for other than Allah, then it's a waste. Imagine, it's like going to a restaurant, ordering food, paying money for the food. You're dying of starvation. You're hungry, and you wait patiently for the food. And then when they finally bring that pizza, you walk away. We say, stupid. This is stupid. And so you do all these things for other than Allah, and then you come on Yawm al-Qiyamah, so you want to get paid for this. Nope, you did it for the wrong entity. Oh, ما ينفع. ما ينفع. Next, last question inshallah. Is Allah sitting on his throne? No. We don't use the adjective or the verb sitting because we have nothing from the Quran and the Sunnah that uses the word qa'ada or jalasa in regards to Allah. We have istawa ala al-arsh, Allah rose over the throne. How? None of your business. Do we have evidence that he's sitting? No, we don't. Therefore, we don't open our mouths and we don't open up this discussion and we don't even go there. No problem, yeah, decubing brothers. No problem, Habibi. Much love, much love. Peace, peace. How stable? Please answer my question. Can you do a series on hadith preservation? No. No, I am not the right person to do a series on hadith preservation. There are more qualified students of knowledge who can do this much better than me. I hope that Sheikh Abdurrahman Hassan has something already on that topic, and I would recommend that when it comes to those technical matters and those technical aspects of the deen, that you refer to someone at the level of Abdurrahman Hassan or our brother Muhammad Tim Humble before you refer to some miskeen like myself. Tamam? Okay. What's your advice to du'at that do not proclaim their manhaj aqidah and who listen? I said already that this is deceiving the Muslims. It's an act of deceit. If you don't proclaim your methodology and your aqidah, you're deceiving the Muslims. You're not fulfilling the obligation. You have to. It's not about names and titles, but it's about being transparent and clear, because the deen is about bayyina. It's about clarity. It's about balaghun mubin, the clear deliverance of the message. You have to deliver it in its entirety in the clearest way possible. Otherwise, you're playing games, and the religion is not a matter to play games with. So inshallah, with this we will conclude, and we will see you bi'idhnillah azza wa jal tomorrow if we all remain alive and healthy. Jazakumullah khair for coming in. Jazakumullah khair for sticking around. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Happy to see all of you. Sorry if I hurt anyone's feelings. It's okay. We're just trying to be a little, trying to unwind after a long day of everything that you could imagine. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.